مستعدين؟
49 عام من الحضارة،
49 عاماً من التقدم،
الطموح أكبر
والقادم أفضل.
دوم مستعدين
بفضل قادتنا ودعمهم،
ما نرضى
إلا بالمركز الأول،
ودام علمنا يرف في عالي سمانا،
رمز عزتنا ووحدتنا،
رمز قوتنا وتلاحمنا،
ونحن دائما مستعدين.
في بلادنا ما شيء مستحيل.
لا 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 شيء مستحيل.
في بلادنا لا شيء مستحيل.
في بلادنا
لا شيء مستحيل.
في بلادنا
لا شيء مستحيل.
في بلادنا
لا شيء مستحيل.
في بلادنا لا شيء مستحيل.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Etisalat Presents Hello Business Pitch Competitions Award Ceremony. My name is Farah Sharid and I'm your host for today's virtual event. On behalf of the entire team at Etisalat, it is my pleasure to welcome you all as we have reached the final stage in the journey of this competition. Since its inception, the Etisalat Hello Business Pitch Competition has evolved into the UAE's premier startup competition, showcasing some of the best business ideas and startup talent that this country has to offer. Every year, the competition aims to raise the bar with the quantity and quality of startups it attracts. In line with this, Etisalat decided to raise the stakes in terms of the grand prize as well. This year, our top 3 winners will walk away with a grand prize of 350,000 dirhams in cash. At the beginning of this year, we kick-started this competition by welcoming applications from across the UAE. We received hundreds of applications from startups across different industries with a diverse range of business proposition. Members of our judging committee scoured through these applications and came to the difficult decision of shortlisting the top 52 candidates to make it into the next round and deliver their pitches in front of our jury. Factors that determined this decision were the strength of their overall application, the ability to communicate their differentiating factor, and the potential to scale up their business. As our 52 startups geared up for the pitching session, we were faced by a global pandemic forcing economies around the world to come to a standstill. In June 2020, as the world recovered and looked towards the new normal, Etisalat took the landmark decision to bring back the competition in a virtual format to deliver its promise of giving these startups a platform to voice their ideas. Etisalat believes that even though we go through an unprecedented time, it is critical to support the SMB community. Speaking of the SMB community, ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to invite a very important member of the Etisalat team, someone who is very much the force behind the scenes of today's event. And I can't think of anyone better than him to kickstart today's proceedings. Please join me in welcoming Islam Mahmoud, Senior Vice President, SMB, Etisalat.
Assalamu alaikum, our aspiring entrepreneurs, businesses and guests. Welcome to our Etisalat Hello Business Awards ceremonies. Today, we are celebrating the hard working, the engagement and the excitements of our future innovators who will believe that they are going to help the growth of digital in UAE. We at Etisalat are serving more than 300,000 customers, and our goal, our objectives, and our strategies is to understand the needs, to understand the requirements, and sit together with our customers to listen and cater their needs in terms of the businesses. And the Hello Business Pitch is one of our strategic initiatives that we have launched 2 years back. And the main goal and the main objectives of the Hello Business Pitch was how we as Etisalat can help the growth of the entrepreneur and the growth of the startup businesses. And today, and I'm pleased to announce, this is our second year of launching the Hello Business Pitch, and we have received our overwhelming responses from the applicants. We have received more than hundreds of applications, and I'm really impressed to announce today that most of the applications which we have received is not only from UAE, but also from the globe. The amount and the of energies, the excitement and the engagement we have seen from the applicants, it's really a witness for us, and also remarkable for us. Just to brief you all about the platform and the programs, we have started back almost on September, where we have received more than hundreds of applications. We have then filtered the applications and shortlisted to 52 candidates based on the qualification and the criteria of the pitch. Those 52 went through a deep dive and also a second layer of shortlistings by the jury, through the qualification, through the review, through also the interview of the candidates, and have selected the top 25. After that, those top 25 candidates have went through a deep dive on the training to enable them, when providing them with a tool that will help them have a professional and also help them have remarkable skills of the panel, up front of the panels, to pitch their ideas and also to pitch their businesses. For me, I'm really glad here to announce that it was overwhelmed, and it also shows how those candidates were very professionals and having the right skills to pitch for the ideas, and the right skills also to show us what is the vision, their vision, and also show us what is their business can do with these countries. So those 25 candidates who've been shortlisted, I'm here to say that there will be further also shortlist to 3 top winners, which are going to be selected by the jury. And those 3 today will go with a prize worth of up to 350,000 dirhams. Before I close, I would like to say thank you very much. Thank you all the candidates for making this Hello Business Business Pitch achievable and success. I would like to thank our Group Chief Business Officer, Mr. Salvador Anglada, for enabling us and also supporting us to create this platform. And I would like to close my statements with the quote of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, when he said, "The word impossible is not in the leadership dictionaries." No matter how big is the challenge, having a strong faith, determinations, and also having the right capabilities to resolve it will always overcome the challenges. And frankly speaking, in today the shortlisted, I have seen and have witnessed that the 25 shortlisted are a real example of those who had believed in their ideas, who had been having the strong faith that despite all the challenges, whether it's in a market situation or whether in the front of the panels, but they have shown their capabilities, they have shown their belief that overcoming the problems. Thank you very much for being part of the family of the Hello Business Pitch, and wish you all the best, and hopefully you will enjoy the day tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Assam, for the warm welcome and setting the scene. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the spirit of entrepreneurship, this is something that has been an integral part of why Etisalat decided to go ahead with this competition, even in light of the situation. To share the thought process behind this and present his welcome keynote, I'd like to invite to the stage Salvador Anglada, CBO of Etisalat.
Welcome to this Hello Business Pitch awarding ceremony that is going to take place today. We're going to award the most innovative companies, startups, scale-ups, in general SMBs, coming with the right ideas and the right initiative that hopefully will be successful in the market. We have run this initiative for the last months. This time in a different environment, of course. I mean, much more digital, just because of the situation that we are living, the situation that all of us are living, and it's affecting so much the way of working, the way of doing things, and also affecting the whole economy. This year, the economy, 2020, is going to drop worldwide more than 4%. Even in UAE, the economy will drop more than 6%. And one of the main reasons for that is how much this pandemic is affecting our small and medium businesses. You need to know that worldwide, I mean, 75% of the employment is happening because of the small and medium businesses, and you need to know that 50% of the GDP in the world rely on the SMBs. That's why are so important, and that's why any single government, including the UAE government, has released so many packages in order to sustain, I mean, the economy, and specifically the SMBs. In the case of UAE, central government with packages around 100 billion, or even the Abu Dhabi Executive Council, the Dubai government are coming with packages, with aids that the main objective is to sustain those companies, to sustain the economy, to be sure that they're able to survive. Because the reality is that, I mean, in a situation like that, the SMBs are the ones, the small and medium businesses are the ones that are suffering more. I mean, a situation where the demand is dropping so dramatically, normally what happens is there is no liquidity in the market. They don't have cash enough just to sustain their businesses. Another very important data is that, for instance, in China, when everything happened, I mean, the small and medium business declared that they had only 2 months of cash to sustain or to pay their fixed costs. In the case of the United States, it's even more, I mean, or less days. I mean, only 27 days of cash to survive. This is a heavy impact that has created a lot of shocks and a lot of situations where the company has had the obligation to close. Also, what has happened during this period is that, I mean, the sectors of activity where normally the small and medium businesses are more active are the one that has been more impacted with the pandemic. We're talking about the hospitality sector, retail, entertainment. Those are the ones that has been severely impacted, and those are the ones that are overweighted by the activity of the SMBs. But even with this situation, I think what I like about the small and medium businesses, the capacity they have to react, to transform, to have the agility and the flexibility to change things quickly to survive in some specific cases. For instance, I mean, during this period, 40% of the companies, of the small and medium businesses, has changed the way they are doing businesses. Only in 6 months, they have been able to change the way they are doing businesses. 30% of them have changed the way they deliver their goods. So they are not delivering the same way they used to deliver at that specific time. And 20% of them, they have gone through a proper reskilling of their employees, looking for new capabilities that they need to develop, trying to adapt to this new situation. Well, I mean, what happened in this time of situation is that you see that some companies are closing, but you see that there is a lot of innovation around what is happening, and they are very quickly to come up with new ideas, the same way that you are coming with new ideas. I was surprised during this period of time with new initiatives related to new ways of doing online schooling, like a parallel type of learning platforms helping, I mean, the not so prepared situation of the schools. I've seen amazing platform that has came up just to facilitate the payroll, for instance, of the SMBs in the times that the people were at home. I've seen platforms that allow virtual visits in the hospital for the people that were over there. All this has happened in a record time, initiatives, people coming with new ideas. And also we have seen, as Etisalat, big demand of digital services coming from SMBs, from the request for help to build up their digital channels, presence in the social media, or having activity on the social media, digital marketing, demanding cloud service analytics in order to get more information to redirect better their activity towards their customer has been, the demand has increased amazingly in the last 6 to 9 months. So this is the situation that we have, and definitely Etisalat is trying to also to support, to help, to be very active in this specific market and be very active on the small and medium business activity and on the innovation front. I mean, one of the very successful initiatives that we launched 3 years ago, and now I think it's mature enough, is our Future Call acceleration program, or our Future Call incubator. What we are doing is to launch specific challenges, inviting companies, small companies, to come and to help us to develop jointly, a solution that then, if it's successful, it will be integrated in our catalog. Today, we have launched more than 30 challenges. We have more than 100 companies working with us successfully, working with us. We continue developing our some initiatives that we started 3 years ago, but now digitally. Our Hello Business Hub, which was the physical place where people can come, the one-stop shop for new entities that come to the market or to the country to establish themselves. We were helping them with all the admin paper, with allowing or helping them to find out office space, to facilitate relationship with banks. All this activity that it was physical now is digital. We have our Hello Business Hub. It's a digital place that companies, the ones that are coming, we can help and facilitate their smooth landing. Our Business Edge platform, best of its kind, a real platform that combines connectivity and digital services for SMBs in a one-stop shop type of approach, one click to be able to get all the services that you need to establish your company, all the different services that you may need, connectivity services and also digital services. And finally, of course, the Hello Business Pitch, this initiative, which I think we are feeling all of us very proud. We're feeling proud just to help the SMBs. We're feeling proud just to support financially the innovation, financially support, the ideas, the innovation that is coming from people that they want really to contribute, to create new things, to create new ideas. And definitely we want to support that, and this is what we are doing here. Today we're going to award the people that finally on all this competition has been the best of the ones that has participated. And I have to say that it's been very, very difficult to decide, but we need to decide it. And I want to congratulate all the people that today are going to be awarded, and I want to also to encourage all the people that have been participated, because honestly the level has been amazing. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here with me today. Thank you.
Thank you, Salvador, for your brilliant insight and for setting the scene for our audience today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd now like to give you a snapshot of the intensive journey that our shortlisted startups went through before they made it to the top. In the first round, our 52 shortlisted startups delivered their pitches virtually in front of our prestigious jury panel, where they got 3 minutes each to show our judges what they've got. Here's a quick recap of all of the action from round 1. As you can see, our jury members were in for quite a challenge as they had to deliberate the scores and decide who would make it to the top 25 and move on to the next stage of the competition. I can only imagine the tough decision-making process they had to go through. To find out more about their experiences and get their perspective on the startup pitches delivered, I'd like now to invite some of our jury members to join us and share their insights, hosted by Roshika Bhatia, editor and co-founder of SME 10X.
Hello everyone, my name is Rishika and it's a pleasure to welcome back some of our jury members today to have a quick discussion on what their experience was like to be on the jury panel for the Etisalat Hello Business Pitch competition. Hello everyone, hi to all the jury members, thank you for joining us today.
Hi.
Hi. Hi Rishika.
Hi Rishika.
Right. Hi everyone. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kickstart a discussion today by asking you, firstly about, your experience as being part of this pitch competition. But before that, I want to ask you as well, for Etisalat to go ahead and do this competition right when we were getting out of a pandemic, it was quite a brave thing to do. What in each one of your opinions is the right approach for the SME sector as we come out of the pandemic and, now slowly move on the path to recovery? So what are some areas that SMEs should be looking at, and how can each one of you, through what you're doing, support the SME sector locally?
Yeah, so I'll start. So I think the one thing which we saw was the ability for a lot of these SMEs to think on their feet and adapt to the situation. If you think about it, back in March and April, there was a lot of people who said doom and gloom, that's the end of it. And what impressed me was you had a lot of businesses that actually showed where the opportunities came in during the COVID situation and identified that. And there were one or two which actually said, we're actually scrapping our business model and changing it and going in a different direction, which I think was extremely brave. But that's where they see the opportunity and that's where they see the market going.
Yes, I can add to that. +1 to Ashish, and I saw the same strong adaptability in many of the SMEs that has participated, and they were adaptable and focusing on the execution, so strong executors. What I would say, a couple of them were a bit ahead of the others, where they focus on doing more with less. So I have seen that, and I would be that would be my number one recommendation, of focusing on what you do the best and communicate this with the rest of your community, your industry. So focus on what you do best would be my recommendation.
Thank you.
I'm going to echo.
Yeah, go ahead for those.
Sorry. I was just going to say, Rishika, I'm just going to echo the comments that have already been made. What I saw really that was very impressive was resiliency in business models. Some of the companies really showed how they could pivot, and this was especially vital in the world we've experienced this year. So companies really need to be able to evolve, and they need to be able to do it fast. I certainly looked for that. I certainly looked at that aspect when I evaluated all of the startups that we looked at, and some of them showed that more than the others.
I think, Firdaus, you hit the nail on the head. The terminology used, pivoting and evolving. I think these are the two very, very basic things that we could see it outright. As Ashish said, in the beginning of the year, probably most of these SMEs might have just seen gloom because their operating models or the delivery mechanisms were the very traditional ones, and they would never have tried any new, pivoting models unless they were forced to do it. But the opportunity of transforming due to the circumstances really made them think over it. And I'm sure that they're glad that they could do it with the better models for not just their own transformation, but the transformation of their customers too, and thereby coming with mechanisms that would have taken ages to implement otherwise.
Thank you. So I think all of you were obviously looking at resiliency. And moving on to my next question, what I wanted to ask you was, we obviously saw a diverse set of pitches during the competition. Was there something that stood out for you? Was there a certain kind of sector or a certain kind of approach that stood out for you while you were, watching the pitches?
So maybe I'll start if that's okay. So diversity, I think that's one of the big things for me, right? I was quite impressed with the fact that the type of solutions that were being pitched were all the way from health tech solutions, it went into fintech, it went into food aggregators, and they were very relevant to the current environment. So I really enjoyed that fact that there was, a really good effort that was put into consolidating the types of startups, the solutions they were offering, and it was really interesting to see the fact that they were all, driving towards a meaningful customer experience, right? I mean, they were all trying to create environments where the customer could easily and simply succeed with whatever they wanted to do. So that was really interesting for me.
Yeah,
Thank you for those.
As a jury member, probably the variety probably was the biggest challenge that we had to look out for, because while we were looking at very diverse applications, we had to really comply with matching them from the applicability today and trying to differentiate between them, which really gave us opportunity to look beyond us in certain specific solutions, and to me that was a great challenge.
And I agree, and especially on the diversity of the startups was the main highlight. The selection of those companies was really impressive. So they were like cross verticals. Even the diversity of the entrepreneur profiles was a highlight for me, and learned a lot from their pitches. What I would say is they were not like the newest ideas for our region, but strong executors. So they once again showed that it's all about execution rather than the idea itself. And in this strong execution, I would say the technology ones, the tech companies, tech SMEs was a bit better than the others in my view, and mainly because of their vision on scale. So they had a vision, and that is something that was important for me, putting that wisdom around, okay, today this is what I'm doing, but that is my plan for scale. That was a highlight for me, for some of the tech entrepreneurs.
Well, I think what impressed me the most was, as diverse as all these applications were, there were so many similarities between them. And that really impressed me, because that showed the drive, the ambition, the adaptability. Don't forget, we invest not only in a startup, but we also invest in the entrepreneurs behind the startups, or in these SMEs. And we saw a lot of the common qualities, despite the fact they were in completely different industries or completely different walks of life. And for me, I think that was one of the big things that really stood out in this competition.
Well, thank you all. Those are some really great observations. So outside of, being part of this exciting competition and obviously winning the title, this was a great learning experience for our startups that participated. So on the flip side, what were some of the areas that you think need improvement? What would be your few key takeaways for our startups that they can work on moving forward outside of the competition?
So I'll go first, if that's okay as well. I looked for gaps in creativity, right? And I come with my marketing hat, and I'm always looking at how are you going to stand out, right, from the competition. And I think there was areas of improvement, certainly where it came to creativity, and also where it came to showing the areas of success, right? I think some of the pitches were very good from a conceptual perspective, but when it came to really showing hardcore examples of success and really, I think it's important for companies to be able to share the data of how they've performed, even if it's a very short amount of time, but at the same time, how they've delivered, right, against the promise that they're setting. And at the same time, it's important for them to ensure that the investors and the judges that they're pitching to can dream that they have. So I think it's important to show the delivery, but at the same time, the dream. And I think that's something that startups today, but even the ones in the future, really need to have nailed down when they come to pitch.
If there was one area that I would really look out that could make a much better impact on all these startups, it would have been them making it practical by including more customer studies and more of the impact analysis on how well it has impacted the customer and the market in general, than just being generic about the solution and the market viability as such. Because when a customer speaks for you, he basically is the biggest marketeer, and this is something that the entrepreneurs probably learn the art in a very difficult manner.
Yes, like similar to Firdaus, I found the optimism versus the realistic, being realistic and having those sanity checks was important and missing some of the times when it comes to their financials or commercials. So that is important, to be optimistic but at the same time realistic. And then again, back to my initial comment, that some of the companies were really good, but some of them were missing that focus while trying to do many things, having a lot of responsibility and pressure from all ends. What is the main thing that you want to get out of the market in the next 3 months? That focus was missing sometimes. I think that is really needed for the SMEs.
Yeah, for me, I think the main thing was I saw varying degrees of experience within a lot of the teams that were there. And with experience comes the knowledge and knowing what you have to do better the next time around. Now, experience, if you don't have it, can be gained through various means. Entering this competition is a great experience because you get a lot of feedback that way. And you actually have to rethink a lot of what you do. But I think also with experience, you learn the aspects about relevancy of the business and sustaining the business and whether it can continue and be relevant 5 years from now, which was something I didn't see with all the businesses, quite frankly. And I think with that lens on there, a lot of them could still think further. The other area which I found was some of them weren't thinking big enough. They were looking at a very, very small market, which is not going to be something that's going to be exciting enough in the long term. And where they're not going to be able to make enough in the long term. And they had to think bigger, and they had to think wider in some cases. And I found them a little too narrow.
Thanks everyone. And I hope our startups are able to walk away with some lessons out of this experience and out of what you've just said. So I think we are going to reach the end of our discussion today. But before we wrap up, I have one last question. And I think this is a slightly left field question. So as you probably know, the winners are going to walk away with 350,000 dirhams as a cash prize, our top 3 winners. If you were in the position of our winners, what would you do with that kind of cash prize? For those, I'd like to go ahead and start with you again.
Okay, so I think with about $100,000, right? If I were a startup, I think I would try and understand how I could future-proof, and through that I would go back and I would with all the feedback that I received, with the money that I now had, really look at understanding my strategy, understanding my exit plan. If I did have one, if I didn't have one, I would put that in place. And then in addition to that, I would put out something like in terms of a positioning, whether that's through a campaign, whether that's through a strategy on how I could pivot my organization to be this new brand promise that I wanted it to have. So I think just having that security of money behind you, as well as the ability to have a bunch of people who giving you some contextual information and guidance, gives you the lens to look at your business a little bit differently. And I would leverage all of that towards ensuring that I would have guaranteed success very different from what I might have gone into, but now looking at it differently.
Interesting. Any other ideas?
If I was the startup and I won that one, considering that most of the startups struggle with the marketing dollars, I would really effectively utilize it with a lot of the digital marketing channels to ensure that the solution that I built in, the applicability of it, along with the few basic customers that I have, the funds are utilized effectively to scale, and so be a dominant organization that is well known of in the market that can quickly reap the benefits, you're utilizing the platform that Etisalat has given me.
Yes, and yeah, I would do similar. Perhaps that would be a great boost for any startup getting this cash prize. And I'm sure there are many priorities for each and every one of them, and the winner would also have a plan. But I would also put some money or budget allocation for marketing and branding, because that is most of the SMEs are lacking. So building that individual brand when it comes to the corporate brand, employer brand, and that is something I would not miss out of this total price. I would clearly allocate something for branding.
So my recommendation would be quite simple: is to take on a decent financial or business consultant to help you prioritize what you need to do with the money. There's so many ways in where the money can go. Do you take on debt? Do you settle debt? Do you invest in other assets, or do you expense out on other areas? Do you hire talent with that money? Do you use it as a reserve for cash burn? You need to think through it and make sure you've got someone else who's outside the business who can objectively sit through it with you and give you the advice before spending it.
Thank you, Ashish. I think that was a great way to end our discussion today. You rounded it off very nicely. I'd like to thank all of you once again for your contribution to the pitch competition, and it's been a pleasure hosting you all. I do hope that our startups will benefit from our discussion today, and thank you all for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Thank you, and keep inspiring us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you to our panel for those fantastic insights. Moving on, let me take you through a quick recap of what happened in the next leg of the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, our jury shortlisted the top 25 startups that they deemed worthy of moving on to the next stage of the competition. These 25 startups were presented with the opportunity to deliver a second round of pitches in front of our judges. To help them polish their pitches, we set up a training session for them to undergo an intensive workshop on how to improve their pitches. This session was mandatory, and it was important for the startups to integrate this feedback into their pitches before they moved into the next round. Our startups, of course, took this into consideration and did a brilliant job of perfecting their pitches and intensifying the competition in round 2. Let's take a look at the recap of what went on in round 2. Wow, that seems like quite an intensive round, with every startup bringing its best pitch. Once again, I'd like to turn to the rest of our jury members to share their experience and give us insights on what stood out the most to them. So I'd like to kindly invite the rest of our jury panel in conversation with Rushka Bhatia, editor and co-founder of SME 10X.
All right. Hello and welcome back to our jury members. How's everyone doing?
Fantastic, Rushika.
Well, thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you all for joining me today. As you all know, we're here for the award ceremony, and obviously it would be incomplete without having you and getting your final insights before we find out who the winners are. So I just have a couple of questions to understand what your experience was like being part of this prestigious competition. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So obviously, as you all know, we've been going through some really tough times over the last couple of months. But Etisalat, thought it was necessary to go ahead and have this pitch competition. What are your thoughts on supporting the SME sector, especially now as we move on to the path to recovery? How important it is for initiatives like this to take place to continue encouraging startups and SMEs to move forward. Neil, if you don't mind, maybe I can start with you on this one.
Yeah, I think the absolute worst thing that one can do is stay in the trenches. We've had this terrible black swan event, and what really impressed me, both actually from my fellow judges and also a large number of the people that were presenting, is that they've seized the opportunity. They have disrupted, and in their vigor, in their enthusiasm, in their determination, they've sought to turn it to a positive. And I think there have been a number of great examples of that.
Right. Professor Val, your thoughts?
Yes, thank you, Rashika. SMEs are critical at all times. They're the backbone of economic growth. And I think what we've seen in this event is the passion amongst aspiring SMEs and SMEs looking for that growth, for innovation, to help create employment, and also their role in social enterprise, improving social well-being. That came through with a number of the contestants. And I think I was particularly taken by the recognition that the SMEs do play a critical role in all these areas of economic and social development and growth.
Absolutely, Professor Val. So moving on, you mentioned there was quite a diverse set of pitches, and there were different things that I know each one of you were looking at. So I'm interested to find out, what was that one thing that stood out for each one of you as you went through the pitches? Abdullah, perhaps you can start with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, all of the teams had some great ideas. For me, as an investor, I'm always looking for the team that can actually take an idea to fruition and execute well. So, the teams that really stood out to me were the ones that had thought through, how to actually take the idea, create a product that would solve the problem that's been identified, work out how to actually take it to market and get people to pay for it. And you showed the kind of grit and determination, and even in some cases the track record to be able to do that successfully. So for me, that was really the most interesting part of it.
Interesting. Amin, what was that one thing that stood out for you?
I think from my perspective, because I invest in venture capital and in startups for a living, I focused on one key idea, which is basically how to take that business pitch or that idea into a business and to turn it profitable. And most of the pitches I was always focused on that, given my background. But one key things and one key surprise to me is also the focus on social responsibility that a lot of these startups, though they are at a very early stage of development, they actually put that first, and it was a surprising quality. But the focus for me was to always figure out if that's an investable business idea that can be taken forward and grown forward.
Right. Thank you. So obviously this was quite an exciting platform for the startups, and they know that they have a grand cash prize waiting for them. But outside of all of that, it's obviously a learning experience as well. So I'll be interested to find out from each one of you, what were some of the gaps or some of the improvements that you think these startups could make? What are some of the key lessons or takeaways that they could walk away with? Maybe we'll start with you, Neil.
Yeah, I think that it's always a very, very delicate balancing act, because let's face it, they've got a very short period of time to get over their message, and you've got to get the balance between being succinct and getting a lot of information out there. So at VirtuZone, you know, we've got hundreds of people coming in every month setting up companies, and we get quite good, as a number of my fellow judges who are always investing, at spotting people straight away who have a great idea and then B, the ability to execute it. So getting that across in a short period of time, making sure that you've got access to that information, and very often specifics, because as judges we're taught, if we have a question mark in our head, then we'll drill down on something. So you're always taught, have specific information that backs up the specific point that you're making, and I think a little bit of preparation in that respect would help that.
Right. Abdullah, what about you? What were some of the areas that you think the startups can work on?
Yeah, so look, I mean, as I was saying before, I mean, thinking through how you're going to take your product to market, who's going to pay for it, making sure that you establish that there is a fit for the product. It's, you know, we call it product market fit, working out that not only have you got a good idea and have built a product to solve the problem that you've identified, but also that people are willing to pay to buy your product and show investors how they will do so. Sometimes it's to do with, you know, the business model, sometimes it's to do with price point, sometimes it's to do with, and I've seen this a lot with tech companies in the US, that frequently they may say, look, for a period of time, I'm not going to charge anybody anything. Actually, I don't want to be profitable. What I want is to get big numbers. And so I'm going to be releasing my product. I'm going to be releasing updates frequently. I'm going to be making it free to get adoption. And then eventually I'll start thinking about monetizing, or I've got a plan to monetize down the line. So thinking through that level of detail is absolutely critical. A good idea by itself is absolutely of little value to an investor without all of those really detailed things. So kind of a continuation of the point that was just being made by Neil.
Right. Professor Valerie, I'll be interested to see your thoughts as well, and then perhaps we can round it off with Amin.
Okay. Yes, I think just building on my colleagues' earlier comments, for me, the most important thing was really being very clear about what is the problem that they are trying to solve. The pitches were actually amazing, incredibly varied, and a lot of passion behind them. I think perhaps the difference between what we might see in the winners and others was this clarity around the problem, and particularly therefore the relevance. How relevant is this idea? Not just now, but particularly going forward. So what is the problem? How relevant is the idea to solve that problem? Can this problem be taken forward and have a sustainable business in the future? They were the main things, and underpinning all of that, of course, is clarity around the competitive advantage that's really being offered. Really difficult to put all that together in one very short pitch, but I think where I saw those things coming through, it was very gratifying to see that.
Just to confirm and expand on what the fellow judges have actually just said, I definitely agree that there has to be a clear strategy, be it if the company decides to lose money or grow indefinitely until it expands, but at least a business strategy is the critical plan. There's definitely across all the pitches, just to highlight what Dr. Valerie was saying, there's no shortage of energy whatsoever. It's just about how to channel that energy from a very energetic pitch into an energetic business, and structuring these ideas from a simple idea into a business. And the key word there is a clear strategy to draw that into a clear executable plan that will eventually make profit. It's okay not to make a profit, but the key distinction from an idea into an investable business is a clear strategy, be it a loss-making strategy for an endless period of time or a long period of time to turn it profitable. But that plan has to be there, and the energy, channeling that energy of a startup and that force into a clear strategy is the biggest recommendation, which goes in line with what the fellow judges have been saying.
Rushika, may I add a couple of comments? I think a really good sign about a great competition is when the judge is jealous of some of the other judges. And on a number of occasions, I heard my fellow judges had thought of or already were in investing in a couple of these entrants. They were really top class. So on that note, I just wanted to say kudos to Etisalat. Obviously, they've got an amazing database, an amazing reach. And I think it's a really good example of, listen, this country, the West at the moment, has been kicking the can down the road, furloughing staff, etc., which might sound very supportive of the population, but the problem with it is it just delays the problem. Here in the UAE, I think the government is making an amazing attempt to do things immediately. Etisalat plays an incredibly important role in that. It's very easy for people to think, oh, we've overcome the worst of it, we're going to be okay now. It's going to be very difficult, it's going to be very challenging, and I think Etisalat have put together a group of fantastic entrants, and I think it's very exciting that the specific areas that they were talking about represent an opportunity to disrupt. And so for that, I hope that not only Etisalat are happy with this, but the various government authorities are watching this and saying we need to support the startup sector.
Very well said, Neil. Thank you for that. So on that fantastic note, I'm going to have to round up our discussion for today. But before I wrap up and we say goodbye, I have one last question, which is perhaps slightly left field. Our top three winners are going to walk away with a combined cash prize of 350,000 dirhams. And I'm interested to know, if you were in the place of our winning startups, what would you do with that kind of money?
Okay, I'll go first on this one. Number one, don't spend it all on salaries. Keep your salaries as low as you possibly can. Focus on the product, focus on the go-to-market strategy. You need somebody who can build it and somebody who can sell it, and that's where all your focus should be.
I would put my money into Abdullah's VC fund.
Just to piggyback on that, I think the key word that is to spend that money wisely, not on short-term things, because salaries are monthly or short-term plan, and it goes also in line with the previous idea of building a long-term strategy and how you want to go about the market. It's okay to spend it for a fundraising, for example, or seeking advice and making the company product ready or market ready. But definitely salaries would be a very bad idea.
If I could just also add, obviously be very sensible using it. Keep it there, and don't allow you to take shortcuts in getting the business up and running. Continue to be innovative. You're innovative people, really innovative people. You've shown that by winning this pitch. So be innovative in the way that you develop your business and grow it, and that's often without having a big cash pool behind you. So obviously it's important for what it's been designated for in your business plan, but continue to do things as innovatively as possible.
Fantastic. I think that was a mixed bag of advice, but really great overall. And I hope that our startups are watching this and are able to walk away with some tangible lessons, and of course, a great experience. I'd like to thank you all for your contribution to the competition and for your time. It's been a pleasure hosting you all. And I really do thank you for all your support during this competition.
Thanks, Rushika. Thanks, Etisalat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you all.
As you can see from our conversations with our prestigious jury panel, our judges played a critical role in ensuring this competition was credible, transparent, and gave a fair chance to all participating startups. Our jury scored each one of these startups on the basis of the following criteria: idea feasibility, financial viability, adapting to COVID-19, idea scalability, business model, and strength of their closing line. Considering the current business environment, adapting to COVID-19 was one of the key criteria that our jury looked at, and it proved to be the defining factor of whether startups made it to the top 10 or not. As the global startup community readjusts, realigns, and refocuses on the path to recovery, agility and the ability to adapt is imperative for any startup. In fact, our top 10 startups scored 70% or higher on these criteria, and our winner secured the highest score in this category. Speaking of winner, we have a special surprise segment for you today as we invite the winner of our previous edition to talk about her journey from winning the Hello Business Pitch competition to leveraging this title to create a niche for herself in a dynamic business environment. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Louise Karim, Managing Director of Women at Work, to join us and share her insights.
Hi, my name's Louise Karim. I'm the Managing Director of Women at Work. We took place in the Hello Business Pitch competition a number of years ago, and we're lucky enough to come out on top, winning. What the pitch allowed me to do was really understand better how to communicate our business sort of USPs, communicate succinctly how we can grow and the potential that we've got to grow, the scalability. It allowed me to identify key messages and key commercials, which were very useful moving forward in terms of pitching to investors. Really, I got a lot of learning from the judges, in their questioning, in their understanding of the business. And I also got a lot of learning, to be honest, through the other competitors as well. It was a really nice kind of sharing environment. When we won the Etisalat Hello Business Pitch, we were lucky enough to get some funding to build our digital platform. Our digital platform then became more automated. We were able to scale our business geographically, which was one of our objectives when entering the competition, and to increase our audiences in our community by 50% as a result of the funding. Now we have grown to over 100,000 women in our community. We are based in the UAE, but we also have presence in the wider MENA region, particularly in Saudi Arabia. Again, a goal from when we were pitching with the Etisalat Hello Business Pitch. And we've also rebranded. So when we pitched, we were actually called Mums at Work. We've rebranded to Women at Work to just basically grow our community. My advice for those pitching this year would really be about, try and really get as much information as you can from the judges, learn as much as you can from the experts that are taking part in the pitch, and enjoy it. You'll come out understanding your business so much more, and being able to take your business forward to the next step. And then finally, best of luck to all the participants, and I hope you have a great time during the pitch.
Thank you, Louise, for giving us that dose of inspiration. All right then, let's get to the most exciting segment of today's agenda, the unveiling of the winners. First, I'd like to announce the names of the startups that made it to the top 10 ranking of the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the top 10 startups. This is a milestone achievement for these startups, as they have made it to the top 10 out of hundreds of applications we received. So my heartiest congratulations to each one of them. In fact, I'd like to invite each one of them to stage to find out how they're feeling about making it to the top 10 of our ranking. Let's see their reactions.
Hi, my name is Firas, founder and CEO of Afro Legal. We were selected in Etisalat Hello Business Pitch early this year in February, and at the stage, Up for Legal was in the very early stage, and coronavirus started to become more serious, so the program postponed until September. Meanwhile, Up for Legal did a great job in the growth. So we did 4x growth and secured a large client base in 50 plus countries, and a first round investment with two institutions in Hong Kong and Dubai. It was an amazing experience being in this program. Big thanks to the organizers behind Etisalat Hello Business Pitch. They did really great job. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Umar bin Brak. I am one of the founders of Flusi. It was an extremely interesting experience for us to have joined Etisalat Hello Pitch. After being selected from the 50 startups, we've actually had a lesson with Dr. Peter to get a competitive edge in pitching. And so we have been now shortlisted as top 10. And I wish everyone in this competition a very good luck. And thank you, Etisalat, for this great experience for me as an entrepreneur and for the other entrepreneurs. Thank you so much.
Hello, that's José Rubinger from Key2Enable. We are very proud and honored to be among the finals. These determined human beings need us to help them show their real potential. To be excluded from a social group can bring up feelings of isolation, anxiety, doubt, sadness, among many other painful emotions. Key2Enable and Etisalat can write new chapters in the lives of people of determination using technology. And that's what Etisalat stands for, because together matters.
Hi, my name is Dr. Hassan Al-Marzouki. I'm the co-founder of Blue Care Integrated Diabetes Center, the world's first healthcare provider to use integrated continuous monitoring as part of its disease management protocol. We're very happy to be recognized by Etisalat as a top 10 finalist, and we look forward to reinventing diabetes management and transforming lives.
Hey everyone, I'm Asta Das, I'm 17 and I'm the founder and CEO of Shiro Solutions. And I'm also UAE's youngest entrepreneur to have a legally registered business at the age of 17. With Etisalat's help, and we are so excited to be in the top 10, and we are hoping to get into top 3 to empower every woman in the entire world with personal security, well-being, and great confidence. With Etisalat's support, Shiro Bracelet will protect women's physical safety, and SheBot will protect women's safety on social media platform. Because with together, Shiro and Etisalat together matters. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abdullah Noaimi, and I'm the founder of YallaGive. We're very excited and happy to be among the top 10 finalists for Etisalat Hello Business Pitch. YallaGive is providing digital transformation to thousands of charities around the world. With Etisalat help, we'll be able to help charities maximize their income and then change life in many countries around the world. Looking forward to be among the top 3.
Hello everyone, I'm Tariq, one of the 3 co-founders of Yanzo, and I'm really happy to be here today. We're really glad to be shortlisted for the top 10, and we're really glad to know that our efforts and our business model is being noticed not only by our customers, but also by business professionals who are out there in the market and can evaluate the hard work we have put into this. Looking forward to be on the top 3. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Khalid Turki. I am the managing director and co-founder of Marifa Digital. We are extremely thrilled to be part of Etisalat Hello Business Pitch Top 10. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to participate.
Hi, my name is Prashant. I am the co-founder of SolarGridX. It was a quite challenging event, and my team and I are honored to be in the top 10, and we enjoyed every single part of it. I once again want to thank Etisalat and all the jury. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Adam from One Moto, and we've just found out that we've made the top 10 of the Etisalat Hello Business Pitch. We're so delighted to be a part of this. It's gone from 4,000 down to a few hundred, down to 52 to 25, and now we're in the top 10. So fingers crossed, the judges will choose One Moto.
That was such a fantastic moment right there, ladies and gentlemen. So without any further suspense, let's get to the unveiling of the winners. Ladies and gentlemen, while each one of these startups truly deserves to be a winner, we can only have 3 winners that will walk away with our grand prize of 350,000 dirhams. Our third place winner will win 80,000 dirhams. Our second place winner will get 120,000 dirhams. And our first place winner will get 150,000 dirhams. Ladies and gentlemen, the decision, of course, has been made by our jury panel of who our top 3 winners are. To unveil the winners, I'd like to invite back Isam Mahmoud, Senior Vice President, SMB, Etisalat.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor now to announce the winners, and I will start with the third place winners who will go away with the 80,000 dirhams. The winner has scored highly on the feasibility and the financial availability. And the winner is for legal.
Amazing news. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be selected as a winner in this program. Thank you for the judges, for their trust. Thank you for the organizers behind Etisalat Hello Business Pitch, for their efforts. They did a great job indeed. I would like to thank every member in my team at App for Legal for their amazing job this year. They did great, achieving milestone after milestone. This prize is for them. I'm gonna celebrate this prize with them tonight. Congratulations and thank you.
And now we're moving forward to announce the second winner, who will move away with 120,000 dirhams. However, before we announce the second winner, I would like to say here that the second and the first were very, very close, and it was very tough for us to decide who will be the first and who will be the second. However, just to announce, the second winner, who had highly scored on the visibility and also the strength, is Key to Enable Assistive Technology.
Hi folks, that's Jose from KitchenAble. I feel proud and honored KitchenAble made it to the finals. Winning the second place among so many amazing startups and entrepreneurs means a lot to us because it shows how much we are all connected and keen to understand and know more about our determined heroes. KitchenAble is already writing new chapters in the lives of people of determination using innovative technology, and Etisalat is giving us the best exposure and visibility ever. And that's what Etisalat stands for, because together matters.
Okay, this is the biggest one of this competition. Our first place winner, who will not only walk away with 150,000 dirhams, but will also have the coveted title of Hello Business Competition Season 2. All right, turning back to Islam, can you please announce the winner?
Now it's the time to announce the biggest winner. The winner we've been waiting for. The winner who will go away with 150,000 dirhams, and also the winner of the Hello Business Pitch Season 2, who has highly scored across all the board and especially on the ability to adapt the COVID-19. And the winner is Yalla Give. Well done, Yalla Give.
I am extremely excited to be the first winner of Etisalat's Hello Business Pitch competition this year. This big win means a lot to us as a company because it will help us boost our services and reach out to new users around the world. Our community will be very happy. Our community of fundraisers, charities, and also responsible companies doing amazing job on the society. They will all be very happy and excited like myself right now. I would like to congratulate the second and third winner and everybody who has participated in this wonderful competition. With Etisalat, we will be making the world a better place.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, our top 3 winners of 2020. Thank you all for your attention and a huge congratulations to all of our winners. It has been a pleasure welcoming you on our virtual platform, and I hope you have enjoyed watching as much as I have enjoyed hosting you all. Thank you and goodbye.
مستعدين؟ 49 عام من الحضارة،
49 عاما من التقدم،
الطموح أكبر
والقادم أفضل.
دوم مستعدين.
بفضل قادتنا ودعمهم.
ما نرضى
إلا بالمركز الأول.
ودام علمنا يرف في عالي سمانا.
رمز عزتنا ووحدتنا،
رمز قوتنا وتلاحمنا.
ونحن دائما مستعدين.
في بلادنا ما شيء مستحيل.
لا 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 شيء مستحيل.
في بلادنا لا شيء مستحيل.
في بلادنا
لا شيء مستحيل.
في بلادنا
لا شيء مستحيل. في بلادنا
لا شيء مستحيل.